Caleeb is not him. I'm not saying Geno is by any means, but Caleeb is not him. You can say what you want. Offensive line coaching. Excuses is all I say. Not to mention, player is married to situation. This was part of the problem. This is why Caleeb was a disaster in the making, because he was attached to the Chicago Bears. Now, this had to be one of the worst games I've ever seen. And while I like Ryan Grubb, I do like Ryan Grubb, I am frustrated that he did not put himself in a position to have a better quarterback, a la trading for Justin Fields at a 6th-round conditional to a 4th-round pick. 31 teams, including the Chicago Bears, made a mistake with Justin Fields in 2024. And I think Justin Fields should be starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. I'll have a whole separate live stream on that. But Fields is way better than Caleb Williams. Fields is way better than Russell Wilson. And Ryan Grubb should have known that. A 31 team should have known that. The only team that didn't get blamed for this was the team that acquired him, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I do blame the Steelers as much because they refused to use him, despite him winning and doing better things than Russell Wilson by a landslide. And that's been proven already. If you still think Russell Wilson's better than Justin Fields, call into the show. Call into the show. The phone lines will be open soon. But Ryan Grubb made a mistake. As much as I like his play calling, his aerial attack, the way he sets up an offense and capitalizes on a lot of the weapons and he's done pretty good with JSN and DK Metcalf to a degree. DK's been banged up all year, but JSN's had a great year. And Sharps has been used appropriately. This was a pitiful performance by Ryan Grubb. It was an even worse performance by Geno Smith. It was an even worse performance by Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. And we just witnessed the worst game I've ever seen. 6-3, no touchdowns, brutal. It's like Clockwork Orange. It was like Clockwork Orange. I was sitting in a chair with my eyes pried open as I'm trying to watch this damn thing. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Good God. This was such an awful game. Now, to be fair to our boy, Zach Charbonnet, and I do want to make sure we're fair to him, he did his job. He did what he could. He got a couple bad carries at the end where his yard per carry went down, but he was about a 4.5, 4.8 all game long. They gave him 2 carries that wiped that yard per carry average out. But he did what he could. 3 catches, 19 yards. Okay? Right there, that's 4.5 points PPR. Right here, 5.5. The guy scored. Somehow he managed to score 10 points. So before anybody comes in here and says, Charbonnet, I saw one person already, Charbonnet season canceled. Before people come in and start saying Charbonnet is horrible or he canceled it, he's not going to do anything. The guy didn't have a chance tonight. It wasn't his fault, but that doesn't change that he didn't necessarily deliver. But a 10-point PPR game is not devastating. You lose because of that. Your team wasn't good enough to support a decent, not a great play, not a good play, a decent play. 10-point performance by Zach Charbonnet. DK Metcalf, 3 for 42. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 3 for 32. Garbage. All this is garbage, and it all is blamed on this man right here, which is in turn blamed on the decision makers that put this man in charge or left this man in charge. He was not it. We knew that. Fields was there for a 4th-round pick. All you had to do was say, Chicago, let's not give you a 6th-round conditional to a 4. A little birdie whispered in my ear that you were going to give him away, and that's where you wanted to go. And because it's trash, all the offers are trash, it's more of a, hey, where would you like to go, Fields? But the moment you call up Chicago, so don't even give me that crap. The moment you call up Chicago and you go, whoa. Hey, Ryan Poles, I'll give you a 4th-rounder. Doesn't have to be conditional. Poles says to these Pittsburgh Steelers, never mind, I'm not going to send him where he wants to go. We're getting a legit 4th-round offer. I got to go. Bye. Poles then talks to the Seattle Seahawks and Ryan Grub, and they say, send him on over, Red Rover, Red Rover. And you send a 4th-round pick, a measly 4th-round pick, over to the Chicago Bears, not conditional, and you have Justin Fields. So I blame Ryan Grub. I blame everyone involved from the top down, thinking that this is your solution. Now, let's give Ryan Grub a little bit of a chance to redo this one more time. One more try, as Timmy T says, because you can't expect somebody to fix everything in one go. You do expect them to understand when a value is sitting in front of you, though. You don't have to wait a year to get Justin Fields for a 4th-round pick. Just strike now. I blame 31 situations, 31 teams, including the Bears, for not seeing Justin Fields as a valuable player. I blame the Bears more than anybody, though, because they got rid of Justin Fields for a 6th-round conditional to a 4th-round pick. What an absolute joke. And people think Ryan Poles should remain the GM. Oh, Ryan Poles is a good GM. Ryan Poles is the 3rd worst GM in the National Football League. Coming close, I'll repeat it for those of you in the back. Ryan Poles is the 3rd worst GM in the National Football League. Only behind Jerry Jones and only behind Joe Get Your Shine Box Shine, who is the worst GM in the National Football League. His son, Shine Jr., knows football more than Joe Shine does. In fact, Joe Shine Jr. told his dad on Hard Knocks in front of everybody, you should go get Jayden Daniels. His son knows ball. His son might be a good GM someday. You know who's not a good GM? Joe Shinebox. You know who's not a good GM? Jerry Jones. You know who's not a good GM? Ryan Poles, who set up all this. Oh, it's the best situation. You know who should also take a big fat lap? The entire media. Everybody that said, this is the best. This is the best setup rookie quarterback we've ever seen, Smitty. There's no one ever been granted more than this guy, Caleeb Williams. No one has been set up better than this guy. Boy, did we say different.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back.
What did we say on this show? We disagree. You know who's set up better quietly than Caleeb? Jayden Daniels. Terry McLaurin. Alone better than all the any one wide receiver individually over in Chicago doesn't hold a candle to Terry McLaurin. You know what people said when we said that? Terry McLaurin isn't that good. He hasn't been doing that good because they don't understand he's been waiting for JD5. Ha! You have no idea what you're talking about, do you? JD5 is an absolute miracle worker.
He's a 5. JD5 is the only 5. JD5 is him, and now all can see. He graduated from Himothy University. Unleash the Washington Kraken. JD5 to Saturn
And beyond.
to Saturn.
And beyond.
Supernova.
What's random saying? What's this guy saying? Randomly, best QB ever. Give Caleeb another last chance. Caleeb is the worst quarterback in the National Football League right now, pal. I hate to break the news to you. And you know what a lot of you don't know or understand because you're box score bobbies? All right, prepare for take 1. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score Bobby.
And I'm only speaking to the declared box score bobbies, of course. But you give Caleeb another chance. He's got sacked more than anybody, Smitty. Bro, it's the offensive line. Hey, Smitty, it's this. Hey, Smitty, it's that. Even though I told you all those things were going to happen. But you know what the box score bobbies don't get? That Caleeb Williams literally only plays well outside of the pocket. Think about it. Close your eyes and picture Caleb Williams in the first quarter of any game. Close your eyes and picture Caleb in the second quarter of any game. And what do you see? Pocket quarterback, 3 and out. Pocket quarterback, 3 and out. Bears have only had the lead, I think, one time this year, I think in this game, and then they lost the lead really quickly. Why is that? Because Caleb's in the pocket showing you who he is. He's not good. He's not good. He's not an elite quarterback on any level. Could he somehow linger in the NFL for 3-4 years? Could he somehow become a starting quarterback for somebody else someday and rise up? Look at Baker. Baker was not doing well at all. Is there some sort of way he could mature and be brought along under the right coaching and tutelage to be a good quarterback? Never an elite quarterback. Don't get cute on me. Never an elite quarterback, but could he survive somehow? Of course he could. Anybody, he's in the NFL. NFL quarterbacks are a certain level of good. Is he great? Absolutely not. Is he elite? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you blaming the offensive line, Bill 2541 on YouTube? Are you blaming the head coaching staff and the offensive coordinator, Steve, on Instagram? Of course you are, because you're a Bears fan. What else can you do? And I don't blame you. You got to do what you got to do to be sane up here watching games out there. It's hard. It's tough sledding, and I don't blame you for 1 second. But what you've got to understand, you box score Bobby, you, is that this man in the pocket's trash. Every time. The only way he plays well is when he goes off script, out of structure, and he's scrambling around, playing against prevent defenses, and he somehow throws 2 touchdowns into the end zone at some point during the second half when defenses are like, all right, let's just keep this lead. And Caleb's got wide open lanes everywhere, throwing, oh, this guy's great. He shows promise. You don't realize that he's trash quarter 1 and quarter 2. And the evidence is they've never led until this game right here. The Bears have never led a game. The Bears have never led a game. That means Caleb's trash in the pocket. That equals Caleb Williams trash in the pocket. Look it up in the dictionary right now. Caleb equals trash in the pocket. He's garbage. He gets to scramble around against prevent defenses. He runs all around. He throws on the run out of structure. What did he do in college? Well, Smitty, he had no help and support in college. He was always on the run. So you're telling me that he never proved to you in college he was a good pocket quarterback. He was constantly being pressured, running around, playing off script, out of structure. Well, yeah, Smitty, but that's because, he didn't have any help. This guy's been trained to only play good football when he's on the run. And let me tell you something. If you think, oh, well, wait a minute, Smitty, all we need is the right offensive coordinator and coach in here that can get him outside of the pocket, and then we might have a good pocket. No. Actually, no. You know how I know that? Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how I know that. I know that more than anybody. Where's my Arizona Cardinals hat? Did I burn it? Where's my Arizona Cardinals hat when I need it? I don't even know where it is. I think I threw it away. I don't know where I put it. Did it fall behind the... I don't know. I can't even find it. That's how disappointed I am in Kyler Murray. Ask Kyler Murray how bad he is, and he'll tell you, I'm trash. And ask him, can you see over the line? He'll say, don't tell anybody. I've been tricking everybody for years. I can't see over the line. So the short king can't see over the line, and he has to scramble outside the pocket. Ask him how his career's been once defenses figure out this guy can only throw outside the pocket. This guy's trash when he's inside the pocket. Ask him how it's going. There's no fixing this. Caleb's trash. I'm sorry to tell you, you're a Bears fan, you found my live stream, I apologize. It doesn't mean I'm saying Bears fans are bad. I love my Bears fans. And I love every team because I'm a fantasy football analyst. And if there's an elite player like a Dunze, unfortunately buried on this roster, I'm rooting for him. I'm cheering for him. I'll rank him high. We'll talk him up. We'll have a video animation for him, and we'll give him cheers and everything. All you got to do is perform and be a good player in a good situation, and we'll cheer you on. It just so happens I don't think anybody can live in a positive fashion from a fantasy football production standpoint in this Chicago Bears system because you have the wrong leadership from the top down. When you say, Smitty, they're going to bring in a new head coach, you know what I say? He's going to fail. You know why he's going to fail? Because your GM sucks. Your GM is the third worst GM in the National Football League. His name's Ryan Poles, and he's the designer and architect of everything crumbling right now in Chicago. And he made the wrong draft selection. If you think Caleeb is better than JD5, why are you even here? If you think Caleeb is better than JD5 on any level, yes, you know what I'm about to say.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
Take a lap. Take a lap.
Take a lap.
Unbelievable. It's so unbelievable how some people think. And it's unbelievable that fandom sometimes gets in the way very, very much. Very, very much when they start talking about players like Caleeb. It's just absolutely embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Dial into the phone line. Let's open the phone lines first, then we'll get to any super chats we got. Let's just get some conversation around this. We're talking only Bears, Seattle, Caleeb Williams, this situation right here. You got a fantasy question? Tuck it away for a second.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, dial in. Let's have conversations around this situation only. Oh, this is garbage. This is such a horrible game. You know, and we have only in some ways ourselves to blame on an individual level starting a Thursday night player. There's, as we said before the game even started, there's red flags, there's concern, there's pump the brakes, there's do you have a better alternative? The thing is, you can't sit studs on Thursday night, though. You can't sit studs anytime because you never know when they're the one player that goes off out of the entire lot of bad players. Because usually on a Thursday game, you will have one or two fantasy football outputs that are pretty good, and then the rest are trash. And then you blame the Thursday game for a lot of other reasons. But very rarely do you get the worst game almost in the history of the NFL. At least one of the worst games in the history of fantasy football. And you have nothing to show for it. The best producer was Zach Charbonnet, who was the best player really on the field. In terms of fantasy production, Zach Charbonnet was the best player, and he had the best performance. He had 10 fantasy points. He did the best he could in a horrible situation where he didn't get fed enough in the second half. He had a majority of this in the first half. He had 50 yards in the first half. He did his job. In half number one, he was given 7 yards in the second half. What's he supposed to do with 7 yards? What are we supposed to do with 7 yards? But this is the nature of Thursday Night Football. Am I saying that we all should have known better and shouldn't have started DK or JSN or Sharps? No, because again, you never know when the one player you sit is going to be the one outlier in the game. There usually is one or two outliers. You couldn't have sat Sharps unless you had Bucky, and we went over those. There's high risk, high reward to Charbonnet. That was very evident, stated very clearly by your boy and everybody here that Sharps comes with a little bit more risk because of the situation, because of his team, because of the way they used him last week, which is they didn't use him at all even when Walker came back. So their loyalty to him, you wonder. And so there's higher risk, whereas Bucky's safer. You know, some players are safer. A lot of options around Bucky and Chase Brown, they're safer. Their workloads are proven. They're doing it all year long. But there is a high risk, high reward factor. So if you started Sharps, you went with the high risk play. and you got the high-risk results. It's unfortunate, but 10 points you should be able to recover from. If you lose based on a 10-point performer in PPR, you had other problems. It wasn't all on Zach Charbonnet. You had other problems. It didn't all come together. We'll circle back, regroup, and help you win that league in 2025. But nobody should be blaming Sharbs or JSN. DK's been missing all year long. You can kind of blame him if you want. But JSN could only do what he could do with 6 targets, 3 of them not the best throws, 3 of which he pulled in for 32 yards. It is what it is. On the other side of the football, before I open the phone line here, the other side of the football, Caleb Williams, 16 of 28, 1 INT, 0 touchdowns, trash game. 5 carries for 37 yards was a nice little additive to that horrible stat line, though. Kind of took away the INT at least. Swift, 53 yards, 4.4 carry. He, like Charbonnet, just wasn't used and did well with what he was given. DJ Moore, I guess DJ Moore outscored Charbonnet because he had 6 for 54, so he's more of 11-point game. 11.5 point, almost 11.5 point game. Swift had the 4 for 28, so he was also I want to say I don't even want to say solid. I want to say good. It was okay. It was okay. Okay is the best word. Adunze 1 for 15. What a waste of a pick. What a waste of a pick. Adunze probably, arguably as good or slightly below, just slightly below the top 2 wide receivers. Top 3 wide receivers. Throw BTJ above everybody, essentially, right? BTJ, Neighbors, and then MHJ. Adunze as a prospect was as good as those guys on many levels, if not equal to even Neighbors. Adunze, Neighbors, there's arguments to be made that Adunze was just as special, just in a little bit different way. Doubted by a far bigger group of people that made him ranked a little lower. But Adunze, you take Adunze in the teens instead of drafting an offensive lineman. How's that working out? Then you bring in Shane Waldron, the worst offensive coordinator you could have possibly brought in. You could have brought in my grandma, who's not even here anymore, and she would have done a better job than Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron is a man that is only used to commanding a 2 wide receiver set. And you draft Rome Odunze as your 3rd wide receiver instead of an offensive line piece. That is like getting a 5th tire for your vehicle before you got your 4th rim. It's absolutely the dumbest GMing, dumbest coaching, dumbest offensive coordinating, and dumbest running of an organization humanly possible. And this was the best setup situation we've ever seen, according to the people that kept touting that over and over and over. They said the best situation. I beg to differ. JD5 was the best situation. Good running stable. McLaurin, elite potential tight end, and Ben Sinnott, which they haven't even had to use yet. And JD5 is the best pocket passer in college football in the last decade. Oh, what? What did Smitty say there? He's making up stuff. Let me repeat it for you, and you can call on the phone line and try and argue with me, and then I'll throw some stats at you. The best pocket passer in the last decade to come out of college is JD5. And he's proving how good he is running the ball, making decisions, and trying to move his team into the playoffs and defy all the odds. Doing it now, like we said he could. Not a year away, not a year and a half away, doing it now. JD5 is him, Caleb is not. Plain and simple. On the phone line, I have Rob, then over to Travis. Rob from New Jersey, you're live.
Smitty, this game was horrendous.
Brutal.
I had started Charbonnet, which wasn't his fault. Got off to an amazing start, and then they just went away from him. And unfortunately, I started DK also because I thought maybe who knows what's going to happen with Devontae Adams? He might be injured, so I didn't want to take the risk. But this game, I don't know why Ryan Grubb, all the hype was in the off season about him being this guru. He was going to revive Metcalf, and it's just been terrible to watch. I mean, he was open, and Geno doesn't even look his way half the time.
Yeah, but so backing it up a little bit, backing it up a little bit, I would say, like, you can't judge Ryan Grubb entirely right now, because Ryan Grubb has had one of the worst teams offensively because of Geno Smith, because of no quarterback, firing on all cylinders at points during the year. Like, let's not forget that Ryan Grubb had JSN exploding week in and week out, bro. Like, we're trying to erase all that from our memory because we're pissed off. We can't do that. We got to understand Ryan Grubb, if he has the right people in place, has done pretty well. Charbonnet was a monster in other weeks, and Walker's had some success, hasn't been used properly. I'll say it all starts with the quarterback. And Ryan Grubb has some responsibility there, no doubt about it. But I think to assume he's not at this, everybody talked about this guy being an offensive genius and look at him, he's trash. Like, what are you going to replace him with, bro? Like, why don't we try and see what he does with a good quarterback? Because to do what he did with Geno, to make JSN explode like he did this year, how are we not giving the man some credit doing what he did with what he had? I'm blaming him. I've given him plenty of blame on this live stream. He should have seen ahead and got Justin Fields. Every team should have. He didn't. If you sat down and said, Geno, I've been watching film on you. I'm the new head coach, and I like the way you rock. I'm going to not bring in anybody. You're my guy, and we got you backed up, and we like the way that looks. We're going to go ahead and roll through this season. My first season with just you at the helm, bro. Like, you got to blame part of him for that. His talent evaluation process obviously needs some work, but this is his first year. And let's give him, I think, the benefit of the doubt to say if he got a good quarterback, what could he do with JSN then? What could he do with Charbonnet then? And again, Charbonnet was pretty good tonight considering he just wasn't used at all in the second half. He had 50 yards rushing at halftime. He did his job. That would have equated to 100 yards for those of you doing the math if he just replicated it. So I don't understand, all the hate at Ryan Grubb. I can understand being critical. Absolutely.
Do you think DK is going to still be with Seattle next year? Do you think he's going to get traded?
I don't know. I think it would be a mistake to get rid of him while you bring in your new QB and you try and figure that out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with DK. Long term, I think he's a great wide receiver. I think he could be a very, very nice value grab next year because people are pissed off about him, bro. They absolutely can't stand him right now. That's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Charbonnet, his 9 points, like the first quarter, he was on fire. They couldn't bring him down. And then I don't know why the second half they just went away from him. They also had McIntosh, who had like ripping 6 yards a carry. He had a nice game, but he was also in the mix too, which was confusing. But I think this was like the second worst game after the 49ers-Rams game, I think 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what it was. That they didn't score either. So
all right.
Hopefully I can bounce back because I had to play both these guys. So
all right, Rob. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man.
Later.
Thanks.
Travis, you're live.
Yeah, I'm just kind of building off that. I think besides the obvious, like they needed to be, it would be a mistake to get rid of DK because chances are, unless you bring in a Darnold or something, you're going to have a young QB, you're going to have someone like Fields who you're trying to develop, and it's really valuable to have a guy like DK and a guy like JSN where, two different types of receivers, and you can really use the whole field with that to develop the guy.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would say is, and you mentioned it before, at this point, it seems like Walker would almost be better to move on for his sake.
For sure.
But it also seems like Grubb doesn't use 2 running backs too well. He doesn't quite, maybe he just doesn't like to,
He doesn't, yeah, like he definitely, we projected that from coming out of college that he was probably going to use 1 RB, which some people were concerned about. So his college usage and the way he made decisions, and sometimes in college it's tough because, maybe a team doesn't have a good enough second running back, so you have to kind of make that call too. But it felt like with what information we had that Ryan Grubb would use one running back, and he talked to Walker like crazy. So we knew he was very enamored with Walker's skill set, as he should be, and as anybody should be. But yeah, as we've said here for weeks now, we need Walker traded out of Seattle. We don't need DK traded out. I don't think we want DK traded. I mean, it depends where he went. If he went somewhere where he could become the number one, sure. If he went to, I don't know, like even somewhere like Washington would be good because McLaurin is older. So DK in Washington would be fantastic because if McLaurin starts to fade a little, DK's there and that would be great. Somewhere like Dallas, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want him playing second fiddle to CeeDee Lamb, and he'd take away from CeeDee Lamb. I think, where he's at's good. Do I want JSN solo? I do and I don't. I think that JSN proved that with DK on the field, he's been amazing, for a majority of the year. I think JSN's good enough that he would be fine. It just depends on where he goes. It could be a pro and a con. It could be a con for the Seattle team. It could be a pro for the Seattle team. It could be a con for whoever DK if he lands somewhere like Dallas. It could be a con. It could be a pro for the team like Dallas, but be a con for the player. There's a lot to work out. But I think JSN's the new number one in Seattle. I think that's pretty clear and evident. I just think they need a QB, and I think people rushing to judge a team that's 9-7. Keep in mind, this team's 4-2 over here with Caleeb playing like trash. And because they equally play like trash, everybody's wiping away the 9-7 record and what Grubb did. Grubb has his team vying for a playoff spot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're mad fantasy-wise, but for everybody saying Ryan Grubb's got to go, they're literally going to be watching the Cardinal game, I believe, right? To see if the Cardinals can win that game, to see if they can try and get a playoff seed. And we're talking about replacing him, and he has no quarterback. He's doing this without a quarterback, which is his fault. And I blame him for that. I've been very, very, very bluntly honest about blaming Shane Waldron, who came from Seattle, blaming Ryan Grubb for not going and getting Fields or another backup quarter. I blame Mike McDaniel in Miami as well. You got to roll in with Tua. We knew Tua was going to be on his back, unable to get up again at some point. We knew that. We talked about it for a whole year, for an entire offseason. How in the hell are you going to not only sign Tua to an extension, but you're so inept as a head coach and decision maker, you don't realize you need to bring in Fields or somebody competent? Like, Mike McDaniel should be fired for that alone. Trash. He doesn't know how to run a team. He doesn't know how to run a clock or manage anything. He's a good play caller. That's it. And guess what? Like Shanahan, you put him in the head coaching position and they can't do as much of that. They got to manage everything else and it dilutes their play calling ability. Now Miami Mike is becoming a mid play caller sometimes not, but sometimes yes. And Shanahan's becoming a mid play caller because they're too preoccupied in running the team, which they're not good at doing anyway. So tough to know what to do. Trade K9. As we said, Washington would be fantastic in a way. K9 to Washington, DK to Washington. I could do it with either one of those. Those would be phenomenal. One or both. No, both aren't going to happen. But one to Washington would be great. Fields to go to Seattle. Darnold to go to Seattle. Seattle to take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders somehow. That would be wonderful. They'd have to do a major trade to get there. Yeah. What else we got? Mario says Smitty went silent mode. What in the hell does that mean, bro? I'm literally screaming here, Mario. Silent mode on what? What is that? What are you even referring to? Here, I'll get my finger ready for the take a lap button. Go ahead and spit out whatever you think you're going to spit out. I have no idea what you're talking about. Silent mode. When have I ever been silent? All right, Travis, hang tight. Let me circle the room real quick. Ethan the negative. Hold on. There's Bill. Bill, what did I say that was so funny, Bill? The tickler? That's Bill the tickler, everybody. You might know why we call him Bill the tickler.
Well,
You said, hey, let me go silent mode. Yeah, that made me laugh. Yeah, Smitty go silent mode. Sorry, I went silent mode.
That was a delay. That was a delay though. Bill the tickler. Bill, what can I do? Sorry, Ethan. Bill's gonna hop over you. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I'm good. I'm sorry. I interrupted and interrupted this session here.
All right. Okay.
Just enjoying.
All right, Bill.
No,
you
please,
keep enjoying. Soak it in.
Pass back later.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. See ya. Ethan. Ethan, you're live.
Smitty, it's been a really bad year for Caleeb. But do you think, there was even flashes in that game. Sometimes when he's on the run and he throws the ball and he's looking downfield, it's the ball, isn't losing speed like your average QB. Like that fourth down play. What
are you trying to say? Ethan, tell us what you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say.
That fourth down play there's only a few QBs in the league who could make that throw.
What throw?
I'll say that, and I'm not
what
even
throw?
a fan.
Caleb Williams? There's only a few QBs in the league that can make a throw that Caleb Williams made tonight. Is that what you just said to me in the worst football game we've ever seen?
Fourth down play on the run.
Are you kidding me?
Down play on the run.
Are you kidding?
You've just
Take a big lap.
get lamb.
The throw to, see, they're even chiming in. The throw to a doomsday.
Stock on decline.
Bro, stop. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself and your good name that your parents gave you. Stop it. You want to say something like, sometime, you say something like, someone.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Yeah, like if you were to say something like, hey, there's a couple throws that give me a little bit of promise with them, and that'd be one thing. I'd be like, I don't know, bro. I don't know what you're seeing. You literally said there are only a couple QBs in the league that can make a throw that Caleb Williams threw tonight. You got to be out of your mind if you're going to use tonight at all to say something about Caleb being in some sort of elite class. The Caleb Williams, don't even say you're a Caleb hater either, because no Caleb non-hater would say that at all. That is a ridiculously oblivious question or comment and observation. It's absolutely wild. Come on, bro.
It was an off-script play, but Bears fans, they just jumped.
No, bro, you're wrong. You're wrong. Ethan, you're wrong. You're wrong, and that's okay. You're wrong. Who knows if Caleb even meant to throw it to him, bro? Honestly. I don't know if you watched Caleb Williams when he was in the pocket. A couple of those big plays he threw way over his wide receiver's head, back-to-back, over and over. Who's to say he even meant to throw it where he threw it? You got to be crazy if you think Caleb can throw any pass in a group, inside a group of quarterbacks that you would say only the select group could throw this throw. Caleb Williams qualifies in none of those statements, bro. That is absolutely asinine. That there are only a few quarterbacks can make a throw Caleb Williams can make? Give me a break, bro. That is wild.
It was off script.
Wild. Next. Anything else? Aside from that ridiculous garbage take?
I think the Bears fans, I've seen this even in the championship game where Cutler went down as a Packer fan. They just jump on the backup so soon. They did it to Fields. Figure some things out with the guy. What first read throws can Caleb make? Instead they just want to jump straight to Badgett. I'm like, what are we talking about here?
What are you talking about? You act like Caleb Williams is being told what to. This is Caleb. Why are you a Caleb apologist? Why are you trying to find excuses for Caleb? Caleb is trash. It's Caleb's fault.
Drafted him a lot.
The Bears drafted him.
No, I don't have him. I had
Caleb Williams is
Allen
responsible. Caleb Williams is responsible for all of his progressions, his checkdowns, Don't blame that he's doing this or not doing that. Why don't they have him doing this? He's the guy that decided to misuse the timeout situation and ruin the game, bro. He ruined his chances of kicking a field goal. The bro had 32 seconds left, and your boy Caleeb, that's being told what to do, screwed up the entire game. He had 34 seconds left, bro. 34 seconds left. Do you know how fast it takes for some of the most mediocre players to run down the 100-yard field? Probably 13 to 14 to 15 seconds. Caleeb had more than double the amount of time it takes a lineman, an overweight lineman, to run across the entirety of the field, which takes him 14, maybe 13 seconds. And Caleeb had 32 seconds left. This is one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen in a while being touted as anything better than mediocre. And when I hear news media and commentators say that was magical, there's some of that magic. There's some of that Mahomes-like throwing. It makes me want to vomit. It makes me want to vomit.
Well, that clock management stuff, I was talking to my brother about that. Like when Rodgers gets sacked, as soon as he gets sacked, the timeout's called. You know, that's a veteran type thing. He's a rookie. I'm being a little bit of an apologist, but you know, he's got to figure those things out. You know?
Finish him.
I've had enough of this. All I'm hearing, he says he's not a Caleeb like fan. That's fanboy stuff right there. To even go into like he's got to, like you're acting like this is all fixable. What are you smoking, bro? Unbelievable. He's acting like this thing could be fixed. Jaime with a $10 hauler. Chicago. Okay, here. I told my friends before the season we should have taken JD5. Yeah, because you're intelligent, Jaime, and you also watch this show. That we should have fired Eberflus and that Waldron was a mistake and how our offense would work. They called me stupid. Jaime, last laugh is on them, bro, and congrats for being the logical one in your group of friends. Caleeb seeing ghosts. Yes, he was. Caleeb can't even hit defenders. 5 INTs. Ray, appreciate you. Ray with a $10 hauler. What's up, Smitty? When do the Raiders fire Pierce? They might bring him back, but I think they'll probably go after Vrabel or Deion Sanders if they bring in Shedeur Sanders, which that's kind of like a rumor. We don't really know what the desire is for Deion, but I imagine he would want to go play with Shedeur. And if I draft Shedeur, I 100% consider Deion Sanders as my head coach because I think it brings a sort of fire and electric environment that you can't get from the jump. It's about as much of a spark plug as JD5. You bring in Deion Sanders, you bring in Shedeur Sanders, you bring them into the Raiders situation with Bowers. I mean, and you maybe bring Higgins in through free agency, bro. This is a turnaround that Raiders fans would clamor for. Deion Sanders and Shedeur coming together would sell tickets, sell merchandise, sell every single sponsorship out through the roof, blow everything out of the water that you're seeing right now. This would change everything, and sometimes it is about money. You know, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm just saying that would be something that would absolutely excite the city. So Pierce should have been fired on draft day. They should have fired Pierce when the first round ended. I would have said, "You're fired. You're fired. You sat on your hands while all the quarterbacks got scooped up, and you didn't go get Fields. You're fired." Why do the Raiders not have Justin Fields? If they failed to get Nix because they sat on their hands and didn't trade up, they failed to get Penix Jr. because they thought he'd just fall. They failed to go get J.J. McCarthy, who I wouldn't have loved that anyway. Sick Nasty knows that. But they still didn't go get anybody. And you failed to even get, like, Bo Milton. You could at least got Bo Milton. You didn't even try and get Rattler. Not saying Rattler's been great in New Orleans. Maybe Rattler would be different. Kind of like Malik Neighbors going to Tennessee looking like trash, going over to Green Bay and looking good. We love Malik Neighbors as a rookie, and he looked like trash in one situation, and now he looks great in Green Bay. You never know what Rattler would be. We were all kind of excited, a little bit excited about Rattler, but you didn't try any of those things. I'm not saying those things will work. I'm not saying I want Rattler as a starting quarterback for the Raiders. I'm not saying saying that. I'm not saying Bo Milton should be. I'm just saying you didn't do anything. You literally didn't even do anything. So I would have fired Pierce on draft day and said, you're garbage already. You didn't do a single thing to get us a quarterback. What in the hell's wrong with you? All right, let me go over to Charles, then Rock Out. Let me go to Rock Out. Let me go to Charles because I made Charles wait. Rock Out, I'll be right with you. Charles, go ahead. Sorry to make you wait.
I appreciate you making me wait, Smitty.
All right. What can I do for you?
Caleeb is trash.
Trash.
They should have focused on mostly on offensive line and kept Fields or drafted JD5.
A Dunze.
You're not going to be a scrambler passer and then overthrow your passers or receivers, and then also end zone overthrows them. So what's the point of having Caleeb on the team?
Ryan Poles, I just keep visualizing that video of Ryan Poles calling Caleeb up right before they're making the pick. He called him I think Poles called him too early. He called him 2 minutes too early. He called him up and Caleb's just sitting there. I picture Caleeb eating like juicy fruits or something. And he's just sitting there and he answers the phone. He's painting his nails, eating juicy fruit. And he goes, hello. And Poles goes, hey. And he goes, and then Caleeb goes, who's this? And I forget exactly how the conversation goes, but you could see Poles going, what did I do? What did I do? Like, you could see him agree. You could see it. I'm a psych degree. I could read body language pretty well. And you could see the hesitation, like, almost as if, like, I'm trying to think of, like, a scenario. Like, is anybody, like, taken back, you let's say you go back to the X or something, and is the minute you go back to the X, you're like, oh, shit. Like, no, what'd I do? I made a mistake. Or whatever, like that's what it feels like. Like he said, "Hey, Caleeb," and then as soon as you start talking to him, he's going, "Oh shit! Why did I do this? Why did I do this?" But he's committed. He's already got the phone in his hand. He has to draft him, no matter what. He has to. If he had any balls, he'd go, "Never mind. Hang up the phone, pick up the other one, and go, JD, we're picking you. Screw that." That's what a person with balls would have done, because he knew it. Poles knew it. When he picked up that phone, he mother freaking knew it wasn't going to work out. It was like he was taking back his ex, and he was like, hello? And he just didn't have the balls to be like, screw this. He didn't have the balls. Absolutely. Verification. Anyway, what were we talking about? What was I even saying? Charles, you said what? Why'd I go on that rant?
No, I'm just saying that, they should just focus mostly on the offensive line and then
you take a
Field or draft a JV5.
I mean, if you're going to make the mistake of taking Caleeb, at least draft a lineman instead of a Dunze. When you literally, again, Shane Waldron. Hey, Shane, I've got your, we're interviewing Shane Waldron. We got it right here. Here's your resume, Shane. I'm looking at it right here. It says you've only dealt with 2 wide receiver sets. Is that correct? And Shane's like, yes, sir. I don't know. Do you guys operate 3 wide receiver sets? Well, we were thinking about it. We're thinking about drafting Rome Odunze. You know who that is? No, sir. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure it will work out well. Okay. So you think we should draft an offensive lineman then for your 2 wide receiver set, or should we just go ahead and draft a future wide receiver that someday we'll need, and we'll let our quarterback get ravaged at the line of scrimmage all day, every day? Let's go ahead and go on 3. We're going wide receiver. 1, 2, 3, go. We're gonna draft a wide receiver. We're gonna draft the best situation a rookie quarterback's ever been handed that can't use. We're going to give him the best 3rd wide receiver and never put it on the field. We're going to buy our 3rd tire for our vehicle without having our 4th rim. We're going to have a 3-rim car with 5 tires. That's what we're doing. I mean, sometimes people say, Smitty, you saw this coming. I don't think I saw anything coming. I think I just used deductive reasoning and logic and said what I saw. It's like wild to me. Poles is the 3rd worst GM in the league. And the fact that the Bears are not firing him, according to what we're hearing, and they're going to let this man who set up this 3-wheel car with 5 3 rim car with 5 tires. We're going to let him try it again. Yeah, push all your chips in. Let Ryan Poles reshuffle the deck and just start dealing again. Let's let him go right back to work. That's how you ruin a quarterback. That's how you ruin an organization. And that's why the Bears will never produce an elite quarterback. Maybe sometime down in the future, a decade from now, maybe they'll break the streak. But this is why Caleeb's going to be awful. Is because, A, I don't believe in him. B, the Chicago Bears are trash. And Bears fans know this is true. You know I love my Bears fans. I love my Bear fans. I'm there for you, but I'm just speaking truth. And you know it's true. Gino sucks too, says about no one disagrees with you, Loaf Man. Like, you don't even have to say it in all capital letters. Do you think this is a Seattle Seahawks like show? I mean, Gino's trash. All right, Charles, anything else before I go to rock out?
Okay, so the only thing I have too is majority of all the passes Caleb does is short, dump passes, or scramble and throw desperation passes to wide receivers.
Correct. Yep. He literally cannot throw from the pocket. Unless he's doing a dump pass, like a drag across the middle of the field where, you know, there's either Swift or DJ Moore usually, or Keenan Allen, where they're just literally dragging across the field. It's so easy to hit a wide receiver that's running right to left or left to right. Like that's what Kurt Warner, you remember The Greatest Show on Turf? You just saw wide receivers going like this constantly all over the field. Kurt Warner's just throwing missiles, even lame duck missiles, straight across the field. One of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And they had an offense that catered to that. It was crissing and crossing and a bunch of drag routes right across the middle of the field, posts and all this stuff. But it wasn't just Caleb Williams backing up and just overthrowing his wide receivers into the out of bounds. A lot of times his overthrows go way out of bounds. Doesn't even give his receivers a shot, like the announcer said tonight. Caleb Williams doesn't even give his receivers a shot to draw a PI, because when there might be a PI at the end of a game, you have to have the football in play. Like this goes to your intelligence as a quarterback. If you're throwing a football downfield and you've got 2 plays left in the game, make sure they're both in bounds. Don't throw something so far out of bounds that your wide receiver can't draw that very needed pass interference penalty. Here's a Bear fan right here, speaking his mind. Yup, the Bears are complete trash. Bear Bones, you're always welcome here, and I hope you know that none of what I'm saying is geared toward fans or anything. It's nothing to do with that. I feel bad for you. Aldi is also a Bears fan. Is that Aldi? No, Aldi's right here. Aldi, I appreciate you. Okay, Charles, got to go. Thank you, pal.
All right, no problem.
Call back if you got another. Rock out, you're live. The Bears. The Bears.
So if I can't blame Caleb, can I blame Pickens and Collins?
The Bears. Pickens and who?
Collins.
Yeah, you can blame Nico and Pickens if you want. KD's got a great question. Smitty, what percentage of equity should Caleb receive from the Bears right now? To be honest with you, this all makes sense now because you can't play for the team you have equity in. So this makes sense. He'll be out of Chicago before you know it, and then he can get equity once they move on. Yeah, can you imagine the balls on this guy? Like everybody thinking this was going to work. Whatever team drafts me, here's how I picture Caleb. Ready? This is Caleb. Chewing gum, painting his nails, sitting Indian style. I can't stand. Stop sitting Indian style. Okay? We're grown men. We're grown men. We don't sit with our legs crossed like we're in preschool. Okay? A couple people do that in the industry on camera, and it's ridiculous. It makes me want to vomit. In Indian school style sitting. And then I could just see Caleb right now. Hey, Caleb, we're going to draft you. Woo! Woo! Any team that drafts me should give me ownership in the team. I should have ownership in the team. Woo! I'm sorry, cross-legged style. My bad. When we were a little kid, that's what we called it. All right, hit me with it. Rock out. What else you got? Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, as far as Caleb Williams and Stroud, who you think's going to be the better QB next year or worse?
Caleb Williams or Stroud? I think Stroud's 10 times the quarterback that Caleb Williams is. But we're definitely in panic mode on Stroud. Like, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever become the player that we thought Stroud would become.
What we wanted.
And he's rattled. And quite honestly, and this pisses off so many people, but I don't know, bro. It's one of those things. Indian style as in nationals or Native Americans. Bro, that's what they called it when you were little kids. They'd say, sit cross-legged, sit Indian style. That's what they said. If you think that I'm saying that in a weird way, like, get out of here, bro. What were we saying?
Oh, yeah, about Stroud.
Oh, Stroud. Yeah, people are gonna be pissed off, but like Stroud's definitely like not in his bag, and he's rattled easily. He showed that when Tank Dell got injured. People can say that was him being just a sensitive like bro, but I mean he lost it on the field. Like you can't do that. You got to be able to be calm, cool, and collective.
Yeah, he's been off like all year long.
Yeah.
All things equal, would you rather have Bryce Young or Caleb? You're like go with a team,
right.
Or if you're a fan
Right
of the
now,
team.
Bryce Young, but I'm not completely sold on Bryce Young. You know, I'm definitely not.
How about Trevor Lawrence?
I'd rather Trevor Lawrence than all three of them. I mean, of the three of them, I would rather Trevor Lawrence. But I will say Trevor
Lawrence.
Yeah, I will say Trevor Lawrence is in a situation that's built to fail. I think Carolina's trying to prove that they'll build around Young, and they could, and I hope they do. If they draft like a Tet McMillan, or they bring in Travis Hunter, or they bring in one of the top wide receivers, or they bring in T. Higgins, then Carolina's going to show that they're proving that they're going to be able to potentially build around this kid. I like Bryce Young a lot, but I think that there are some limitations that he brings to the table with size and all that, but he might overcome it. And what a story! If I would have sat here in the preseason and said, I bet you that Bryce Young plays better than C.J. Stroud this year, you would have been called crazy. And so it's absolutely wild that the tables have turned. I'm hopeful that Stroud can get back on his horse, but again, he showed absolutely no ability to stay composed, and I think he hasn't had that dog in him for a while. He went and tried to give Caleb Williams advice on the field, and that's laughable now when you think about what he was trying to tell him. And it's like, I kind of thought it was a little premature for a sophomore quarterback to be like, I went through one season, let me give you a whole bunch of advice. But we kind of thought Stroud's so far along, it's kind of like he's a 30-year player the way he played as a rookie. So, no one said anything. Even I didn't say anything. I'm like, he played that well. But looking back on it, it's almost laughable now. To be like, here's a guy Stroud playing as a rookie, going and giving another rookie 1 year later advice, like the balls on him to do that. And honestly, I wouldn't take a single bit of advice from Stroud. And he doesn't show any dog in him, and he doesn't have composure. And so many people went to bat for him when he was crying on the field. And I wouldn't say he was like shedding a tear. He was like weeping on the field. And so many people went to bat for him and said, "Oh, it's a great friend." It is a great friend. It's fantastic. Like I said, when I was put in handcuffs in another country and thrown into the back of a car that had soldered bars on it, and they took me away and they robbed me of my money, and I had three friends there. One cried like a baby, and I appreciated it. I knew he was my friend. So no one's trying to suggest there's anything bad about Stroud crying for his friend, but you're also on the field commanding soldiers going into battle, and you're losing your composure. Not to mention, it's not like Dell passed away on the field. Dell suffered a bad injury. This is football. Is Joe Burrow gonna weep and grab onto one of his offensive linemen and go, my little T Higgins broke his knee. My little T. Okay, let's go back out, boys. Blue 32. You're not. Joe Burrow's not doing that. So you can make fun of me all you want. You can say, Smitty, that's heartless. It just shows he cares. Stop arguing something that I know exists. Him crying shows he cares. We've established that. Can we move on? Him crying on the field the way he did shows he cares. But is it somebody that's leading you into battle? Like, someone please explain it to me. You can call in and argue with me about it too. I want to hear a take. Why him crying on the field was a good thing as a quarterback and in general of the team. The commander-in-chief.
Probably the truth.
I mean, I'm just curious. All right, let me go over to Bill the Tickler.
Keep it real.
Go,
keep it real. Go
ahead, Bill the Tickler.
I'm good, Smitty. You made so many good points.
He's just.
Hold on. It's still downloading. I'm trying to catch up. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Are you trying to pull a Wes where you just call on the phone line and just listen?
No. But now I have to turn the spotlight on me, calling me a Wes. No. I thought Wes and I were always different.
Are you sipping on Grandpa's cough medicine tonight, Bill? Bill? Billy?
Smitty.
Billy?
Smitty.
Bill, anything else?
Much more. Yeah, so Jordan Love or Penix?
Jordan Love is safer by far. Penix Jr. has a ton of upside, but a lot of risk. It's the same thing as last week. I mean, if you want to roll the dice that Jordan Love has, maybe some opportunities to get shut down by a defense that has clamped down a number of quarterbacks, and you can also succeed against them as well. Minnesota is not bulletproof.
Okay.
But Green Bay's got an opportunity to make this a tough day. So, you got to ask yourself, do I want to go with the high-risk, high-reward spotlight game where Penix Jr. goes in and maybe throws for 1 touchdown and 222 yards, has a real low-key game, and they run the hell out of the ball in a close battle? Or maybe they put the pedal to the metal. They need to air it out because they're down, and Penix Jr. throws for 3 TDs. It's tough to say. I would say if you need safety, go Jordan Love. If you want high risk, high reward, but you're completely willing to risk the biscuit and put the blame on yourself,
Smitty,
and not me. Yeah,
Smitty. I also have Jayden Reed and I have Jordan London. So Penix London, Love London, Love.
I don't know what
Reed.
Denny? Is this Denny?
Penix Reed. I'm just asking.
Bill, you're not making a lick of sense. If you watch this back tomorrow, you're gonna be like, Smitty, I'm sorry. I was a little out of sorts.
No.
Yeah.
No, I carefully waited. No, I carefully waited, Smitty.
Carefully waited for what? Bill, what I'm saying is when you get off this show and you pass out face down, and then tomorrow you replay the show from about 57 minutes into the show on, you will say, Smitty, I'm sorry about calling in last night. I didn't really remember it.
I disagree. Last time we passed out face down was 22 years ago. That will never happen.
This is like asking the impaired. This is like asking the impaired. Hey, impaired person, can you drive? Oh yeah, fine. Come on, Bill. You're not qualified to answer the question because you won't remember it. I'll decide if you're fine or not. Bill, touch your nose. Touch your nose, Bill. Bill, can you promise me you're going to do what I'm about to say? Promise me. Promise me. Bill, promise me you're about to do what I say. I'm going to tell you something to do, and I want you to do it. It's nothing crazy, but just promise me you'll try it. Right now. Ready?
I promise.
Okay, stand up. Stand up.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Look up in the air, close your eyes, and then stand on one foot while you're talking to us.
Yep.
I don't hear anything crashing or breaking. Go ahead, try it again, Bill. Switch feet.
Laheim.
What?
Laheim.
What's he saying, Travis?
Laheim.
Little Hun?
Saying Laheim.
What?
Laheim.
Laheim.
Laheim. Laheim.
Laheim? What's Laheim?
Laheim.
What is he doing? Bill.
Travis.
Bill.
Travis.
Bill.
Travis.
Bill, say your ABCs forward. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, O, P,
Elmo.
Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, N, Z.
All right, Bill. You passed with a C. Give me your keys, but you can walk home.
Thank goodness I'm already home. Thank goodness I'm already home. Everybody, Smitty is the best.
Thanks, Bill.
This is where it's at. And I lost my league this year because I didn't listen to Smitty. So, lesson learned. I'll see you all next year.
Bill.
Love you all.
Bill, we're 365 24/7.
Love you all.
Bill, go pass out. All right. God. Did he say LOP? Someone said he said Elmo P. Elmo P.
He's saying Laheim, like the Jewish greeting toast. Laheim.
But why is he saying that? He's supposed to be doing a sobriety test.
Bill the Tickler.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's
Bill
true.
the Tickler does.
That's true. Bill the Tickler he don't do a standard test the same way as everybody else, like you and I. He will do it the way he does it. I'm surprised we didn't. I don't think he did it because if he did, I think we would have heard a crash. Like the I was hoping that he wouldn't get hurt, but I was hoping that the coffee table would get a little bit of a. All right. Anything else? Rock out.
Should we run out Coker again this week?
Depends on who. I like Coker a little bit. We broke that down on the previous show. I do like Coker, but I don't know that it depends on the options, man.
Either Coker or a home run string with Zakus.
Zakus is interesting, but that's tough, Rock out. I'd almost say do the opposite of what we pick because it's so close. It'll be the opposite. I don't know. Zakus is interesting. What's he been doing the last 4 weeks though? I mean, you look great last week.
Not much.
Yeah.
Zakus. Man. I think it was just 1 week wonder this week. So week 4 he had 85 yards, but he's never scored a touchdown. He's never had a positive. He's never had a positive anything except for week 4, 6 receptions, 85 yards, then nothing, and then last week 5 for 70 and 2. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go Coker. I think Bryce Young likes him a lot. Coker had the score of the week prior, right? And then this past week, he had a touchdown that they didn't connect on. It was this close. So Coker should have had 2 touchdown week, or back-to-back weeks with a touchdown. I kind of like Coker a little bit. Just make sure he's going to go because he's banged up.
Okay.
All right, man. Rock out to the moon later, bro. Travis, any final thoughts?
Yeah, so if Hurts is out, do you like the Cowboys defense this week? I know you said don't ask me more defense questions, but that's one I have to kind of consider.
Travis, I promised I would not allow another defensive question. I'm going to give Travis a pass, but after this, it's done. I'm done. I don't care who it is. I'm not answering a single defensive question. What's the question? Last one.
Just Dallas defense, because they haven't come up yet. If Hurts is out, how do you feel about them?
Over who, though?
Raiders against the Saints.
Raiders. Raiders or Dallas is your question. Raiders or Dallas?
Yep. If Hurts is out, that's obviously the deciding factor.
Philly's so good at running the ball and everything, but Dallas is such an opportunistic defense. This is tough.
Yeah. I'm just thinking I might need a big swing.
Chat,
Jason and DK go tonight. So.
Chat, vote on this one if you could. Vote on this one if you could. Dallas defense or the Raiders defense, assuming that Hurts is out, which I pretty much can guarantee you he's as close to being out as we can possibly say without saying it's for sure. Damn, that is a tough one. I mean, it's not like Dallas is like cream of the crop. They're like 9 or 10 in your scoring format, give or take. CeeDee Lamb being out is going to hamper. CeeDee Lamb's going to hamper that team a little bit too, in the same sense that the defense not marching or the offense not marching the football down the field is going to create problems, and the defense will get worn out. It's so tough, man. Dallas does have 24, 19, 5, 17, and 11 in back-to-back games. It's so crazy, though. That's good. Falcons are – the thing that scares me about the Falcons call here, if we were to go Falcons, is that they're ranking way out. They're not even 15. They're like 17 or something. They're not – they've just scored really well these last 2 games mixed with that week, like 4 – oh, but – so the what week? The only week that the Falcons did well, other than the last 2 weeks, or did great, was in week number 4 against the New Orleans Saints. So the Raiders. Okay, so back to Dallas. I'm sorry, got sidetracked there. I just think the Eagles are so good that they run the ball.
They have enough weapons.
They probably don't make as many mistakes as you would think.
That's true, because they won't rely on Pickett as much, I guess.
It's like
Barkley a lot.
It's like, what's Dallas really going to do without CeeDee Lamb? So if they run the ball well, get up, they're not making mistakes. I'm gonna say the Raiders go up against one of the worst teams in the league that have no ability to move the football down the field. Give me the Raiders. Final answer. All right, I got enough defense. Right. See how that was like 5 minutes? No more defensive questions.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Yeah, hold on, Travis. Charles, you're live again. What do you need?
Did you say no more defensive questions?
Yes, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sorry. I should call tomorrow.
Sorry, bro. All right, later.
All right.
I'm not. I'm sticking to it. No more defensive questions. We've gone over all the defensive questions till we're blue in the face. And it's just like you're pulling teeth and splitting hairs on a lot of these like no-name calls. And a lot of it's guesswork. It's complete guesswork. And honestly, you're putting yourself in a disadvantaged situation even overthinking it. Like some of you have dilemmas that you start kicking up different theories, and then all of a sudden you're making the wrong move. We've gone to too much time going defenses. Flex, Cup, Pollard, or Spears. Give me Cup. It's risky. Spears might be a tad safer. Give me Cup. Chuba or Kyron. Give me Kyron. But I love both of them. You should be ashamed of yourself, Ty, that you can't start Chuba Hubbard as well, because he's earned it. London or Ford. I'm going to go probably Ford for safety, London for high risk, high reward, depending on what your projection is to win or lose. Do you need a big swing? And May or Bryce Young. I'd probably go Bryce Young for now, but Ty, that's a tough one. I'd rather have Penix Jr. over both of them, but that's a tough one. Bryce Young's pretty good. Bryce Young has the matchup, to be honest with you. Like, you look at this thing, it's like Bryce Young's going up against he's in Tampa, but it's a great matchup. It's a fantastic matchup. Give me Bryce Young for safety. And then let me go back over to this super chat here. So is Caleeb winning 8 Super Bowls? He said so. It's going to be tough, Ron. It's going to be real tough. Hey, are you going to beat Tom Brady's Super Bowl number? I'm going to win more Super Bowls than Tom Brady. PPR, pick one. Jennings, Spears, Okonkwo, Zakus. Zakus is fun, but Jennings is a safe play. Spears is a little bit higher risk, higher reward. No way I'm starting Okonkwo over Jennings or Spears, but it's a close call. Spears has got the ability to have a really, really big game, but he also could all of a sudden fall flat, not get used as much as you think. Jennings is probably just safer, but if you want to swing, go Spears. But Jennings will get a certain amount of targets, guaranteed. What's up, Smitty? When do the Raiders fire Pierce? Already answered that one, I think. Thank you for that question, by the way. And then, yeah, I'm all caught up. Okay, go ahead, Steven from Iowa. You're live.
What's up, Smitty? Hey, so I just got off work and I'm just seeing what DK Metcalf did, 3 receptions on 3 targets. What a crazy game. 6-3. Looks like nobody scored a touchdown or anything. I mean...
Well, welcome to the live stream.
Yeah, it just goes to show, man, these Thursday games are just absolutely horrible to play. So
yeah,
I'm not really sure. Were they just not... was he not incorporated much in the offense?
So you box score.
Bears defense actually looking good.
So as a box score, Bobby, I know you didn't see anything. It really just came down to the Geno Smith is garbage. And look, I mean, a lot of blame, as I said, goes to the staff, the brass, everybody involved, ownership, everybody involved, for not putting themselves in a better position if this didn't work well with Geno by going and getting Fields. So it's on them, ultimately. Just like it's on you for not replacing that fire alarm battery if something happens. But I will say that, at the end of the day, I feel like Grub should be given another chance. And I think if you give him a quarterback, let's see what he can do, because he has a great offense. It's made JSN play well for majority of the year. Charbonnet's look explosive. How many running backs have had the ability to at least produce what Charbonnet and Walker at times have been able to produce, but he hasn't been able to do it consistently because he hasn't had a quarterback. So hopefully he can get a quarterback. But yeah, it's 100%. Both these quarterbacks were trash and are trash.
I didn't even see. Honestly, since I didn't see the game, did Charbonnet not even? What did he put up?
Bro, you got to go rewatch the game. I can't be your recap of the play-by-play of the entire game. I would just say that at the end of the day, he had 50 yards at halftime, was doing his part, and then in the second half he got 7 yards. And it wasn't like they're playing from behind. It was just Geno was trash. But can't do the whole play.
My opponent has CD. He's going to be out. So I was a little bit bummed to see DK, but hey, it is what it is. So I just thought I'd call and see what happened to DK. I'll watch some of the highlights.
He just didn't have a quarterback, and that was he made a good catch. He was trying to do his part. I mean, DK hasn't really helped matters for the last handful of weeks, but he wasn't really the problem in this one. He had a really good catch that Geno underthrew. It almost touched the ground. Might have even touched the ground, but it was a great catch. DK did what he could. Geno Smith sucks. That's what it is. Yeah. All right, bro.
Hopefully they make a move. All right.
Later.
Later, bro. Yep.
Bye. No offense to him. Just so you know, who is that from Iowa? What was his name? Appreciate him. I'm not mad at all, but I can't do a recap play-by-play of the whole game. Ethan the negative. What can I do for you again? Call him back.
So,
McMillan.
Where do you rank for Superflex Caleb Williams as a second QB next year?
I mean, I'm not going to target him, but is he in the realm of a starting quarterback? Sure. Because almost every starting quarterback.
Penix? You'd rather have Penix?
Of course. Penix is twice the quarterback that Caleeb is. Rather Drake May by a long shot. Drake May is showing a lot of promise. The only quarterback in this came from Tua probably won't be a starter for very long. I think Tua can outscore him though. So yeah, the answer is yeah. I'd rather have Tua.
Yeah.
But Tua's going to get hurt at some point. Not that Caleeb won't. I'm surprised Caleeb didn't get hurt this year. I really am shocked Caleeb didn't tear an ACL or have some sort of catastrophic injury because this offensive line has allowed him to be the most sacked man in the NFL. Like, we can at least give Caleeb his credit for not breaking. But I don't know that you're going to get that lucky again if you run it back that way. But I don't know why you're trying to defend Caleeb so much. You act like you're not a Caleeb supporter. All you can do is talk Caleeb. This is the second call. You got hung up on. You got hung up on, and now you want to talk about how high will Smitty rank Caleeb? You're a Caleeb guy. You're a Caleeb guy. You're a Caleeb guy. He flipped you into a Caleeb guy. Something about his performance tonight won you over. You were all in, bro. You were all in. He's all yours.
No.
Yeah, he's all yours. He's yours.
Oh, is that if I say one other thing though?
Yes, maybe.
I was really looking into tight end, and the only guys that have the volume that I think you can trust next year are McBride and Bowers. Everyone else is, I mean, when we're talking about volume and, getting the targets.
I think that you'll be okay scouring the waiver wire and finding Laporta and Hawkinson and other guys, a handful of other players. Laporta's going to be fantastic value. Fantastic mother freaking value. But, Ethan the negative, this is why you're called Ethan the negative. You do find the negative or the anti-negative, which is what you're kind of doing with this Caleeb disguise. You're acting like this is positive, but really it's negative. Because you're trying to go against the grain. You're trying to be positive to go against the grain, which is a negative. But your boy, you can't trick your boy. Your boy got a psych degree for a reason. For people like Ethan, they're going to call in and try and outthink me. But you're being Ethan the negative. You've been Ethan the negative the entire show, and no one knows it but me. I appreciate you, Ethan.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you.
He doesn't get phased.
McBride or Bowers, you got to get him next year.
Ethan's the kind of guy like his wife could go, "I hate you," and he'd be like, "Do you want chicken on your salad when I go pick up the salad, honey?" You stupid son of Honey, I'll be back a little bit. I just want to let you know I got to get gas still in the car, so it might be a few minutes. This guy doesn't get affected by anything. He's negative for sure, but he doesn't, I think he's so negative, he's so ice cold inside, nothing affects him. Like, I've literally reamed this guy to pieces, and the next minute he's like, Smitty, can I ask another question, please?
He'll say I'm not listening, but I'm thinking about, the football game.
Uh-huh.
So,
You've been trained well. You take a beating, bro. It's like that commercial where the referee's getting chewed out by the player, and the announcers go, "Where is he trained for this kind of thing?" And then they show him at home, and his wife's just screaming in his ear. That's Ethan. Ethan's tested. Nothing shuts him down. He just keeps marching. All right, Ethan, go get that salad.
Oh,
I'm sorry. What was your last question? What was your last question? Go ahead.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
I just said you got to get Bowers or McBride.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is, what do they cost? What's going to happen with McBride with Kyler gone or Kyler there? Kyler didn't give him a single touchdown. Like, what happens there? So it's not as easy as you think to just say, oh, McBride is a lock. Maybe McBride's going to be a problem child next year like Laporta was. Laporta looked better than McBride. Laporta looked better walking into 2024 than McBride looks walking into 2025. Like, chew on that. So there's no safety. There's no safety. Look, I'm telling you, Laporta was. Don't think in hindsight. You can't look at it like that. I'm saying if you put yourself in the August draft mode, Laporta looked better than McBride looks right now for 2025. And you could say, oh, no, the targets are. I'm saying last year. So what I'm saying is you never know what's going to happen from year to year. So McBride might not be the lock you think he is because the Arizona Cardinals are potentially going to shake things up. Maybe, maybe not. I think the only one that's a lock is Bowers to be absolutely what we think he is. But at the end of the day, bro, you still have maybe George Kittle lingers for one more year. Maybe Travis Kelce lingers for one more year. I haven't heard you say a thing about Jonnu Smith, who's a top 3 tight end and a top 5 tight end overall. But the last handful of weeks in a month, Jonnu Smith has been absolutely on fire. I don't hear you talking about... It really does.
Hey, you know who
it really does get thin after that.
We got to give him a little bit of credit.
A little bit of credit. A little bit of credit. Whoa. A little bit of credit. You say that as if Jonnu crapped the bed and we're trying to trying to help him out. Let's throw him on olive branch. What do you mean a little bit of credit? Go ahead. What are you saying?
Who's the old coordinator in Pittsburgh again? Who was giving Jonnu over Pitt? What's his face? The guy, the thing.
Canada?
Arthur Smith, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Arthur Smith now.
Maybe
Okay.
he knew
You're
something. Talking about. Maybe he knew something.
Maybe. All right, we got to go, Ethan. Appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Bill, you're still up?
Bill is back.
Of course I'm still up.
You taking a leak?
Yeah.
He's up to take a
You
potty.
You're gonna rise on me, I stay up. Yeah, that's how we roll, bro.
Hey, Bill. Bill, what's 10 times 10?
100.
Bill's pretty sharp when he's a little rattled, a little off kilter.
Yeah, and I remember. Yeah, you're pretty sharp with like too many Diet Cokes. We all have our fucking vices, bro.
I don't drink Diet Coke. I drink Coca-Cola
I'm sorry.
Classic.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to
I
curse
drink-
on the YouTube monetary.
I drink the Classic. I don't drink Diet.
I'm so sorry, Smitty. I'm so sorry. I take hard lashes and hard laps.
I drink Classic, not Diet, and I don't sit with my legs crossed in the chair with my feet on the furniture.
Well, all right. So that was earlier. Yeah. So I do sit my legs crossed, and damn, it feels good.
No, not like this, where you cross your leg or whatever. Like even if you shove it down, which I'm not even flexible enough to really do the old man leg cross, like your dad does, where it's like you hit it. Hold on, Bill, hold on, I'm talking, Bill.
I can't see you.
Bill, hold on, Bill, hold on. I still have an audience full of 520 people that I'm catering to, not just you, Bill. Okay, so your dad crosses Bill. Your dad crosses his leg like this, right? It goes all the way. You guys can't fully see it, but he goes all the way down. I'm not talking about that cross. I'm talking about the Caleeb Williams. The Caleeb Williams, crisscross applesauce. Like this is Caleeb Williams. I'm sure Caleb is doing an interview. He's going like this. Hi.
No.
Hi.
No.
Hi, I'm Caleeb. I'm Caleeb Williams.
No.
I'm 100% serious. Hey, Caleb, how many Super Bowls are you going to have? I don't know, maybe 8. Probably 8. Probably 8. Probably 8 Super Bowls. The Bears. The Bears. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a professional interview? I don't know how people sit like that. Oh, my knees are sore after that. All right, Bill, anything else? I got to go. Bill? Are you sleeping?
Yeah. No, I'm awake.
Okay, Bill, got to go. Appreciate you. Bill the Tickler, everybody. See you later, Bill. Bill, are you all right? Are you aspirating?
Love you, Smitty.
All right, Bill. Later.
Love you, buddy. Thank you.
All right, Bill
Thank
to the
you.
moon. Travis, any final thoughts? Get your mask back on, Bill.
When do we
Get-
do the?
Get the.
Do you do the rookie stuff? Like, go ahead.
What's that? What's that? The what do they call that thing? The device you put on when you sleep with this when you snore and you.
Oh, for like sleep apnea.
Yeah, get your whatever mask on, Bill. All right.
CPAP.
CPAP. Yeah, thank you, Matto. Get your CPAP back on, baby. All right. Go ahead, Travis. What was the rookies? What about rookies?
No. I was just asking. When do we do the rookie stuff? Is it right after like championship week? I can't remember when we did it last.
Right after Christmas. So now, like anytime, I've got a lot of the rookie stuff kind of in mind, and then I'm gonna record it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. If it's probably be. I don't know if I'm going to do an upload or a live stream, but I'm sure I'll do a recap live stream of the upload. So I think it might go something like that. Bare Bones says clap. That's something different. I think he says that he corrects it CPAP. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, Travis?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, wow, it was crazy how few like dominant tight ends there ended up being, because it looked really deep to start the year. But
don't tell Bill.
How quick things change.
Don't tell Bill he is.
Kincaid's the big one.
Or not Bill.
Big one I wonder about long term.
Yeah. Don't tell Ethan.
Next year.
Don't tell Ethan, but he kind of has a point. Just a small point. But don't let that'll go to Ethan's head. So we're gonna pretend like Ethan's wrong, that the tight ends are plentiful. But I mean, he didn't mention Jonnu. He didn't mention. Like, Kittle has probably another year. Yeah. So, Brock Bowers, Kittle, McBride, Travis Kelce, who knows what that's going to look like. Definitely not in the top 4. But maybe he's in the 6, 7, 8, 9. Andrews probably maybe lingers for a half a year, but I'm not heavily invested in Andrews or Kelce next year. Jonnu, McBride, Kittle, Bowers, and Njoku can't stay healthy. And then the guy you scroll down to and you're like, him. Laporta. So I honestly, I think it could be Bowers, Laporta. I think Kincaid's in the mix, but he's no different than like I would approach maybe Noah Gray steps up. Hawkinson
what,
for sure.
What kind of Kincaid is? Just like gotta just wait and see what happens, because he was a big letdown.
Yeah, I mean, you can't trust him until we see something. I mean, we can't just assume something will fix itself, like for whatever reason. But Bowers is the top shelf tight end, and then there's a break. There's a tier break. There's not even a question about a tier break. And the reason, and it's a dotted tier break, like not a hard line, I guess. We put a hard line under McBride. But McBride is definitely like in his own tier too, or he's in this like same tier. We'll call this tier one, but it has a mini tier break inside it. So this is T1, and that mini tier break inside is the difference between Bowers and McBride, because McBride, if let's say McBride got a quarterback, let's say Darnold, and I'm not even saying I know that Darnold would succeed in Arizona. He might not. He might go back to being a pumpkin. But if they somehow they got Fields in Arizona, whatever, I think this tier break could be erased. But that's your top 2 tight ends. I think 3 for me is Laporta or Jonnu. And I think you could essentially call that a tie. I think next up is where it gets dicey, and I don't even have an answer. Whether it's Hawkinson, whether it's Kittle. Kittle's definitely in the mix, but you could even put Kittle at 3 if we're talking redraft. If not that we weren't talking redraft here, but I could see that. Dynasty, no way. Dynasty, it's these 3 guys for sure. Laporta, McBride, Bowers. And then when we talk redraft, you could slip Kittle into 3. You could put Laporta at 5. You could put Jonnu at 3. You could put, how do we not put Jonnu at 3 or 4, in redraft? I have him tied for 3, but Laporta.
Gotta be up there.
Maybe this is maybe we call this a 3-way tie. Laporta, Jonnu, Smith, and Kittle, I guess. And then a tier break, probably. Then you got Hunter Henry. You got, not Hunter Henry. I mean, you could talk Hunter Henry. You got Isaiah Likely. If Andrews isn't the guy, Likely's the guy. Maybe one of the best cuffs in fantasy 2025 is Likely and Andrews, because if Andrews doesn't fall off, then Likely doesn't rise up, and Andrews is worth it. And if Andrews falls off, Likely might go to the moon. So it's kind of an interesting cuff.
Love to see him get a shot. Yeah.
That's it. Ferguson, maybe. Yeah. Fergie, he could be good. It's not that dry.
You got a couple young guys. Tavion Sanders, Theo Johnson, guys like that. So.
Yeah. I don't know if I call it that dry. Kraft coming up. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's just hard to predict what that 6 to 10 range will be, but there's plenty of guys who step up and fill it. So
yeah. All right, we'll see you later, Travis. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
All right, let's go back over here. I think I've got all of the questions. Let's see here. I think I've got everything. Let me go over here and make sure I got nothing lingering there. Okay, so I just want to make sure I didn't have a super chat sitting there that I hadn't answered yet. I sometimes do that. Logan, Flex, Addison, Garendo, B. Hall, or Downs. I can't sit Breece Hall. I could if it was like Chase Brown, like Bucky, but not there. Start Jawan Jennings or Cooper or Cup. Or Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup. I could sit Cup, but like the other example, not against Jennings. Jennings could outscore him, but Cup, I still ride the Cup train until the season's over, and then we reassess. MH share Jayden Reed. Give me Jayden Reed. I think he's gonna have a decent day. He would have had a really good day if they didn't sit all their starters really early in the game last week. Schultz or Boswell. Schultz and Boswell stunk. Opponent Josh Allen, JSN, JJ, me, Mahomes, McLaurin, Sharps, Bijan, Achane, Indy, and Reed or MHA Reed. Coker and Downs on waivers. I go Reed. Reed's a really good play. TP, I don't even lose sleep if Reed doesn't do it because he's got the talent, the situation. I like Reed a lot. It's in Minnesota. I think you're going to run him a little bit too. Thanks for all the help. Thank you, Bare Bones. Appreciate the $10. Been watching the channel for 5 years, and this is hands down the best fantasy football channel. Should I start Hall or Chuba and Wilson or McMillan? McMillan probably, Bare Bones, over Wilson, but that's like a safe play. Garrett Wilson over McMillan might be slightly more upside. Like, could Garrett Wilson have 100 yards and a touch and like 10 receptions? It's possible with Aaron Rodgers, but I probably start McMillan and Hall or Chuba. I mean, it's a really, really tough call. I think Carolina is going to be in this game more than people expect. I think Chuba is a safer play, but I do find it hard to sit Breece Hall. But this is a tough game. I'd probably say Chuba is safer. Breece Hall is high risk, high reward. You kind of got to go with what you need. If safety will get it done, even if you're projected to lose, like you have a 45% chance of winning, that's not big enough to worry or panic. If you're like projected to really get crushed, I think Breece Hall gives you more bang for your buck. But man, Chuba's been solid. I think Chuba's safer, and he's the only guy getting work, bro. He's like, you know what I mean? Like you're guaranteed everything. Chat, do you agree or disagree? Chuba or Breece Hall? Please vote. Set the team QB Hurts or JD5. Hurts is not going to play, and you wouldn't sit JD5 over a banged-up Hurts anyway. Hurts has got, more than that going on, so JD5, easily. Bucky, Saquon, love it. Need 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes out of these guys. Man. So the 3 wide receivers, let's put them as Jamison Williams, Neighbors, and London. And your 2 flex plays, we're going to call them. So your tight end's Jonu. So Jonu, come on, don't even ask Jonu or Chigakonkwo. Jonu. So out of these guys, we're going with London, Neighbors, and J-Mo as your 3 wide receivers. Your 2 flexes are going to be Ladd and McMillan. And I feel so good about that. Like, if it doesn't go your way, those were really good plays. I'm not even, sweating it. It is what it is at that point. I'm not, looking back and going, oh, I got cute. Those are really good plays. You could go Tracy over McMillan, and I wouldn't ridicule that, but I just think McMillan's the guy. All right, before I go, does anybody know where JD5 went to college? If you already know the answer to this, or you've already seen me ask this question, please don't partake. Please sit back and watch all of those that make bad guesses and get this wrong, because people think they know where JD5 went to college, but they don't. If you know where JD5 went to college, put it in the chat. I don't think a lot of you even know where he went to school. We're a JD5 community, and if you love JD5, you need to know where he went to school. So nobody answer if you've already been a part of this before. Where did JD5 go to school? Let's see who knows. Sam says LSU. Wrong. He didn't go to LSU, Sam. ASU, wrong, Slayer. ASU, wrong, check. Job Corps, wrong, Slim.
JD5 is him, and now all can see. He graduated from Himothy University. Unleash the Washington Kraken. JD5 to Saturn
and beyond.
To Saturn
and beyond.
Supernova.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the...
He's a 5. JD5 is the only 5. JD5 is him.
There, how's that volume?
Now all can
Is that volume better?
He
I think that volume is better.
graduated from Himothy University.
Got him.
This bass might slap a little too hard for you, E111.
Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter men.
First two Jupiter men of the year.
The Saturn men.
No Saturn men yet.
Step for man.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
No Mars men
Mars
yet.
men. The Moon men.
No Moon men yet.
Dropping loads in outer.
No mid-season monsters yet.
He's 5.
Sorry, wrong button. No revenge tour yet.
The Jupiter men.
Jupiter
is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter men.
Got him.
See you all later. Appreciate you.
Take a lap. Don't come back. You're a Kyron hater. You're an HN instigator. Your mama never taught you how to be anything but AC Slater. And even if you want to pretend you like Kyron Williams now, he's never going to love you back, so he won't turn no frowns upside down. Maybe you never had a papa, and that's okay, because I could be your daddy. Your mama never minded, so let's just be a big family. Kyron, HN, Bijan, Chase Brown. Look, there's another touchdown. If I'm going to be your papa, you better get going. Take your lap and run it hard. And throw a little wave as you run down Smitty Boulevard.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back. Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
Brees, Jacobs, St. Brown, A.J. Brown need a flex between Addison, Debo, Reed, White, J-Mo. Thanks, bro.
Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
I love Addison and Reed, and I love J-Mo. I don't think I could sit J-Mo. He's on a tear. They love him. But I could go with either Addison, J-Mo, or Reed, honestly. They're all really close. Give me J-Mo. Chat, please vote on this on the way out the door. Vote on this on the way out the door, please. Hit it one time for him. Give the man your attention. Help the brother out. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.